Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for checking out the show. Welcome to episode 56. We're in episode 56, baby. My guest for this episode is my good buddy Luke Null. You might recognize Luke from his one-season stint on Saturday Night Live. He is a funny man. Super hilarious musical comedian, improviser, actor, sketch comedian. We had a great conversation about comedy, all things comedy. This was a comedy-heavy conversation. And this episode of the podcast is brought to you by a couple of things that you already know I'm going to say because I love these things, and I hope you do too. It's ad read time. Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. I take this supplement every day. Magnesium has a huge positive impact on muscle recovery after a workout and can help your body with a natural sleep cycle. Guys, buy Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. Go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. They'll give you 10% off, and they'll send you a book about how you can optimize your overall health and nutrition and well-being. And I do use this. I use it every day. So I highly recommend. Blue blocks, my favorite blue light blocking glasses. I wear these when I edit at night so I don't have to stare at a computer screen. And these also help me sleep because the blue light from digital devices can really mess with your body's natural sleep rhythms and throw off your natural melatonin production. So go to blueblocks.com/Brent, get 15% off. Guys, these things that I'm promoting, do I enjoy promoting products? No. Do I enjoy using these products? Yes. So if you buy these products or use them, then they'll help me pay rent every month. And then I can keep doing this. We can keep chilling. You know what I mean? And finally, my buddies are developing a party game. It's called Spillin' Beans. They sent me a copy of the game. It's a card game. It comes with dice, cards, beans, because that's what you use to bet in the game. And it's super fun, man. They launched their Kickstarter recently. They're almost at their goal, and they could use a couple more bucks. So I'll post a link to the Kickstarter below in the comment section of this video. Spillin' Beans, a fun party game for fun friends. Remember friends? Friends are fun. Guys, had a really good time talking to my buddy Luke Null. I'm sure I hope you enjoy it too. We talk about comedy, improv, his experience at Saturday Night Live in New York, his experience starting off in Chicago, coming to LA, and just a lot of comedy stuff, baby. Had a fun comedy conversation. So enjoy this week's episode. I can't talk. I need to wear my blue blocks. Maybe they'll help with my speech patterns. There we go. Guys, please enjoy this week's episode with my good buddy Luke Null.
The next level up.
Do you do a podcast, dude?
I don't, and it's been one of those things where I'm like, I don't know why I don't. I keep coming up with mental excuses as to why I don't.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I mean?
Yeah, and now I just make mental excuses for why I shouldn't, but I just keep doing it.
Just keep cranking it out.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a while there where I was like, I want to have at least an angle. I want it to be good in terms of production stuff, so I bought all the stuff, and now I have all that stuff, and I have no excuse to not be doing it.
Yeah, you got to just do it. Even if you just talk by yourself, like the ones where I talk by myself. I mean, at the end of the day, not a lot of people listen, but it's like fun. You know what it replaced for me is open mics.
Right.
Because now I can just think of a bit. Yeah, and if it makes me laugh, like in the moment, I'll try it out on stage. That's
something that like Zoom, all the Zoom bullshit. Zoom shows and stuff like has not replaced being able to work things out.
Yeah. Have you been doing live shows lately at all?
I've been doing a lot, increasingly more as more stuff like outside has started opening up. I've definitely been doing more of that, which has been good. Mm-hmm. It's still, some of them are a little weird in terms of like, just because the low capacity, you might as well be doing like a live Zoom show. Or it's just like, this sucks. It's a necessary step to getting back to where it was.
Right.
It's like, and then there's the ones that are like, this is great, but also like kind of sketchy. You know what I mean? In terms of like that's kind of the two sides of the coin right now. Where it's like, either they're respecting the rules big time.
Have you gone back to like on the road at all and done any gigs on the road?
I have. I've done. I went to San Diego. That was great.
When?
A couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh, cool. Was it like an outdoor patio type deal?
Yep. It was a Don't Tell show.
Oh, cool. Their shows are always good. Their shows are always
no
matter what city it is, a Don't Tell comedy show is going to be phenomenal.
Don't Tell rocks, love it.
Yeah.
I preached the gospel of it.
Yep.
And then I did another Don't Tell in Vegas. And Vegas is definitely done giving a shit. They're just
really?
They're just like...
Because for a while, they were like California. They were like really locked down.
No, I think they're like 100% back open. Like, I don't think there's any... Yeah. And I was like...
Crazy.
And I think it was like opening up fully the weekend I went. So it was like...
Yeah.
It was like vintage old Vegas. I was like, okay.
That's cool.
This is wild. It was great, though.
Dude,
it was outside.
In August, I went on the road with my buddy JP, and I opened for him at a club in Florida, and they were at like 70% capacity in the days leading up. And then the day we landed in Florida was the day they lifted all the shit, all the mandates, all the capacity orders. And so they called him and they said, hey, do you want to open up more tickets? And he was like, fuck yeah.
Yes.
And it sold out the whole weekend. It was a packed room. And this was
Kick-ass.
August, dude. And after the show, we were like shaking hands, and it like felt weird. I was a little hesitant, but then I was like, I'm in Florida, you know, and I'm not seeing my grandparents.
Exactly.
And then I got tested when I got back. I actually stayed in my home for like 3 or 4 days by myself just to see. And then I got tested, and I was negative. And I was like, how did I not catch it in Florida? Shaking hands with 1,000 people from Florida.
There was definitely moments like I tried to be safe, you know, took it very seriously, all that stuff. But there were definitely moments where I'm like, I mean, I got it when I did that. And but yeah, got away with it as far as I know. I'd someday. I feel like early on people were like getting the antibodies test. Like, did you get it and not really know?
Yeah.
I'd love to kind of be like, just do
an antibody test.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
But I want to know how many more people got it and didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if it was like, it's like, yeah, we have 500,000 people died. I'm sure.
Tons.
Like
100%.
I'm wondering if I got it and then just like it was one of those things where it didn't hit me. You know
exactly. There's so many weird things, dude. I keep reading these like headline articles that are like, if you have a certain blood type, you're less affected, and it's weird. It's a weird one.
It is one of the things that has made the whole thing very weird. That it's like sometimes it just doesn't. It's almost like giving credence to like the people that don't give a shit and don't think it's real. Where it's like, fuck, like part of you wants to be like, all right, if you get it, it's gonna fucking kill you. Where it's like, I'm glad it's not that, but at the same time, it's like that's what's made it. Those people haven't, in their mind, the argument of like, it doesn't fucking matter if you get it.
Yeah, and
like,
there's also like the
demographics
thing is all fucked up too. Like nobody ever shares the information on the specific demographics of people. But whatever, dude. Yeah. We're all right.
We're getting back. Everyone who vapes doesn't get it.
Right. If you vape, dude, you don't get shit. You don't get it.
It's the same as a vax.
No, we can't say that. We can't say anything about vax, dude. My video got removed today.
Really?
From YouTube. Yeah. It was... I just released it a couple hours ago. It's me and my buddy @BlakeWeber. His real name is Aristotle. And it's about 2 conspiracy theory bros going to the doctor. And it's mocking people who think the vaccine has a chip in it.
Of course.
Right? And let me just say right now, YouTube, the vaccine does not have a chip in it.
It doesn't.
Okay?
It's 3 chips, okay? So you need to get that right.
We carry phones with us. That's the chip.
Exactly.
So
you're already tracking me and recording me. What else do you need?
What else do they want?
Yeah.
So it's like we're mocking those people who think that lizard people are real, right? And in the video, we're like, no, I don't want the vax, dude. It's got Pringles chips in it, dude. It's got potato chips in it.
Yeah.
Great writing? No. But like,
no, that's good.
Misinformation? Also no. And so they took it down because they said we're spreading medical misinformation.
How up on it were they? Like how quick?
2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And with him, he posted it to his YouTube last week with different information, and it was 1 hour for him.
You know, it's like probably even more bonkers is that real shit that probably should be taken down is probably not.
Still up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. The QAnon highlights are still on YouTube from last week's meeting, and they're going to take down a comedy video. It's so, and then it makes you wonder. It's like, okay, dude, you're going to take down a YouTube video for spreading misinformation when there's no misinformation in it. So like, what's the motivation? And now that gives fuel. It's like,
this is obviously a fucking comedy video. Yeah. It's so stupid.
It's so wild.
Because it's like, I'd love it if you were this vigilant over the actual trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Over the actual
You're
garbage.
not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remove, 6ix9ine's music. And
then
you're doing the world a service.
Let's take him down a peg.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got too much fame, dude.
Yeah. He's just too good at making music. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such good stuff. I love, I wonder if like 30, 40 years from now, like kids will look back and be like, what was going on then? And then like his music will come back and people will be like, people were into this.
yeah. People liked
this. People
this
were like,
was
he's
a thing.
cool.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's in jail for ratting again 30 years from now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I think is like the grill and the hair and the face tats are the best part about him.
Did you watch the documentary on Hulu?
No, I did not.
It's really good.
Is it?
It's so good. It shows like who he was as a kid. Like he was a normal, weird little kid. He's like a shy like kid.
Yeah.
Right? And then he starts making clothes that have like weird words on them and expletives on them. And then he gets into rapping with his friends. And then like little by little, it shows the shock value things that he did to become this like thing that he is. It's wild, dude. It's a crazy progression.
I do respect that he's able to be like a big name in music for writing maybe the dumbest, like
the dumbest lyrics.
To not have it. Like there are songs where I'm like, I don't know that there are any words in that.
Right.
I think it's literally just growling.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's...
I'm for it.
Right.
And I sound like an old man being like, these kids these days. I'm like, no, man, I respect that you were able to, like, people are into your shit. That
you make millions of dollars making shit noises into a microphone.
I remember thinking that about when Soulja Boy blew up, too. I was like, man, this is like, girl, you stank, take a bath. Girl, you stank, take a bath. I'm like, that's the whole song. And then I'm like, well, people are probably like into the production behind it. And I'm like, no, it's even worse.
They
like,
just
boom,
like
boom,
the
boom,
lyrics.
Boom,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was like two instruments.
Yeah. Oh, it's
drum,
like a Casio
weird,
keyboard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like I love that you're just making like what I would assume is a joke.
Right.
Like, it sounds like
you're using like a GarageBand loop.
Right. And
people
are like, no, this is my shit.
This is dope. Yeah, that was a wild time for music, dude. The Dougie and all those dances. And they were all kind of the same. They were all really similar as far as like musicality goes, right?
Right.
They were so simple.
Now it's just like
simple.
They're pretty much still doing that, but also you got to dial up that machine gun hi-hat to just...
Yeah. And then add tons of auto-tune. And then you're in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. How you doing musically?
I'm doing basically that. I'm making a Soulja Boy stuff where I'm just... It's a lot of like aggressive machine gun hi-hat with like a pitch shifted... Tyler the Entertainer samples. Yeah.
Oh, great.
No, I'm on my bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have been trying to, your old roommate, Morgan Jays, has inspired me to be like, all right, I'm showing up to these gigs now, like with my own like reverb stuff and my own amps and stuff. Are
you bringing your own gear?
Bringing more. I'm trying to step up my my tech game.
Cool.
A little bit.
Cool.
Because I think I've, fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame on me. Fool me 700 times of me showing up to a comedy show and them being like, we don't have anything. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I need to just start bringing it. So
yeah.
Been doing the BYO gear and it's been positive.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you have an album out already, right?
I do. I put it out. It came out before the world got cool.
Yeah.
Before everything got so rad. I put out an album that I recorded in Chicago. Good hits.
Yeah, so you went Chicago, New York, LA, right?
Yep, did the three.
You've hit all three cities. You failed in all three.
Ate shit in each one consecutively. I was like, all right, now that I've burned every bridge in the windy city, let's see how fast it takes me to flame out in New York. 1 year?
1 year? Cool.
All right, let's get
on
the hell
to LA.
Yeah,
what
in LA, I'm like,
can I trigger?
Exactly. I'm really trying to share my hot takes. Just peel my hot takes off the bone, but no one will put a mic. You're the first person who's put a microphone in front of me, so I'm like,
oh, good.
I'm trying to let people know like my opinions on like Egyptians. I have a lot of hot takes on Egyptians,
dude. So were you born and raised in Chicago?
Mm-mm.
Where are you from originally?
I am from Cincinnati.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
How'd you get to Chicago?
So after college, I was like,
where'd you go to school?
Went to school at Ohio University in Athens, middle of nowhere. Did comedy stuff, kind of the bug bit me in college. And I did a lot of like sketch and improv, a little bit of stand up in college, but then...
Were you doing music?
No, I actually really wasn't. I'd done it maybe like 3 or 4 times. I was doing mostly improv. Yeah. And I had a great coach, improv coach, who was a teacher in Chicago. He taught improv in Chicago. And he was like, if you want to do this more and like you see what where this would lead you. Chicago is the spot for that, and he's totally right. I mean, like Chicago of all the cities, that's definitely like improv mecca. It's
yeah.
Maybe the only place where improv is
in the hierarchy,
the main thing,
right?
You know what I mean? So definitely spent 5 years in Chicago doing too much improv.
Did you do IO?
Did IO? Did a lot of that. That was definitely my main spot. The Annoyance Theater was another big one.
Yep.
Didn't really do too much at Second City, but there's so many great theaters in Chicago, so I did those a bunch. And then as time went on, I started doing.
Were you doing stand up simultaneously?
So as time went on, I started to realize like, oh, I need to be doing more stand up because you can make even any money at all. You can make $20 a show.
When you do improv, you literally don't make money.
You literally can't.
Unless you like,
you're a coach.
Like, what do you do?
The way
unless
people
you're a
make
coach,
money.
but like career-wise, you have to either get some crazy opportunity, like the Amsterdam Theater.
Sure.
What's that theater called?
Boom Chicago.
Boom Chicago, the theater out in Amsterdam. You have to get some crazy opportunity to do that.
Right.
The woman has to send you out there, right? What's her name? Halpern? Sharna?
Well, that Sharna, I don't know if she. I mean, I'm
She's
sure in the
not there
past
anymore,
she was.
maybe?
Yeah. But Sharna was the old owner of IO. R.I.P.
That's right.
It died.
Yes,
it died
it did
during
die.
quarantine.
Yep.
But yeah, Boom Chicago. So it's definitely like a very lucrative thing. Like they'll ship you out to Amsterdam for
Key and Peele did that.
Key and Peele did that. There's a lot of people that have.
Seth Meyers,
his brother did it.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that have gone and done that. Second City is like the only improv slash sketch place that will pay. So,
that's cool.
So it's like another. People are very competitive, and you kind of have to swear fealty to that place.
Yeah.
Whereas all the other ones aren't paying their performers, so you can kind of do all of the other ones. You know what I mean?
It's
like
either all the other ones or one, or be loyal,
or try to run the rat race of Second City, and then even in the best of cases, they have two, like a main stage and a ETC is their other stage, and that's like 5 or 6 people per show of those things, and there's like 4 5-month runs, 6-month runs of shows, so it's like super competitive, and then like they're paying people, but like not a livable amount of money.
No,
like everyone,
like $50 a show probably.
I mean, I don't even know, but I know it's like everyone I knew like had to work on the side too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially like a lot of them, like the first rung on the ladder, they send you to do like cruise ships.
That's the other way you make money as an improviser.
Cruise ships.
You do cruise ships.
Or you do what they call bizco, which is what a lot of people like make money like doing like corporate trainings and stuff. We'll help you guys learn how to communicate with each other by learning zip
Open your mind and
where you're just checking your watch of like, and contractually we've done an hour, so
right.
farewell. Like, so it's like, and that's not necessarily what anyone wants to be doing, but it's I hear it's easy money.
Yeah,
so people do that. I never really went too far down the Second City rabbit hole a little bit. I was kind of like an understudy of they call it the short list, where they're like, we want to tell you that you're affiliated with the theater, but we're not going to pay you in any way. So they're just like, someday. And then I went and did one of those like ship auditions.
For the cruise ships?
For the cruise ships.
Yeah.
And I remember being like there was probably like 14 of us or 12.
Was the audition all improv?
So the audition is a lot of like short form games. You're doing a few Second City whatchamacallit, scenes, like sketches from archive, they call them, just like the most lowest common denominator, like something
middle
that
of the road,
Sudeikis wrote in 98. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that where you're like, okay, they're still doing these.
Yeah.
So you're like doing those, and I think every person other than me got put on a boat. But the thing is, if I had been put on a boat, I wouldn't have been able to audition for SNL.
Right.
So I'm like thankful that I didn't get on the boats.
Definitely. Dude, and cruise ships are like weirdly competitive too as far as performers. I've done one cruise ship.
Have you?
It was the worst I've ever bombed. Was on a cruise ship. It was the worst, dude. It was during hurricane season of like 2017 or 2018.
Primo cruise ship
weather. And I'd never done a cruise before, but the owner of a club in Ventura calls me out of the blue and he said, "Hey,
you want to die?"
Yeah. Are you ready?
How long did they make you go on it? Like, how long were you on there?
Okay, so here's what happened. So the owner of this comedy club calls me and he says, "Hey, would you be interested in doing a cruise ship?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." Like, what's the info? And he's like, "Well,
you
the
disappeared
cruise is
from the world.
Right. It's in a remote part of the ocean.
And you're going to the Falkland Islands. They suck.
They suck. And he said, this cruise is on its route right now, and their original entertainer can't make it. So they asked me if I knew anyone, and he paused. And in my head, I was like, oh, they asked him if he knew anyone that, like,
I'm the
wants
11th
to
place
die.
guy.
Yeah. That, like, has
I'm not his first phone call
no
today.
reason to live.
Yeah,
Got anyone like that?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, I got Brent. So he called
You have no
me.
friends and family that'll miss you, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so he calls me, and I was like, yeah, sure. And like, when is it? And he's like, it's next week. You got to fly out on Tuesday. I was like, oh, fuck, okay. And so I fly out. This was 2 days, like 2 days. Within the span of 2 days.
And they're asking you
and
to
I can't
put
say
your
no.
life 100% on hold.
The money is good, and
Sure.
like cruises are so hard to get into. It's so hard because there are lifers in that world.
Yeah.
So
same with like Second City people. There's people that are just like
for
that's
life.
what they do.
Same with groundlings.
Yep.
Same with groundlings. And so I fly out to this remote island. And it's like halfway through the cruise's route, so I'm in this hotel for a day.
They swung by and picked you up.
They swung by and picked me up, dude. I go on the ship. The first 24 hours I don't have the show. I have the show on the second day, and so I'm cruising around, going to the gym. I'm meeting people. I'm getting drinks and food. It's cool. I'm on a boat, right? It's a massive boat. And then the day of the show comes, and I get there at 4 p.m. for a tech rehearsal, a quick run through, so I could get a sense of the stage and everything. The theater is 1,200 seats. That's the most I've ever performed in front of. Ever at this point.
That's huge.
Yeah. And so I'm talking to the tech guy. The tech guy is like, what kind of music do you want to come up to? And I say, oh, well, of course, you got to bring me up to I'm on a boat, right? By the Lonely Island. Of course. How could you not bring me up to that? And so we rehearse it. He plays the music. I come out with the mic. I'm dancing all around. It's just me, him, and his assistant. They're laughing. I'm laughing. I'm like, this is gonna be great. The vibes are good, right?
You're like
3 hours later, it's showtime. And I peek out of the curtain, and they told me to like dress kind of nice, and I was like, "Well, I move around a lot. Can I wear a collared shirt with like short sleeves?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's fine, but like no flowery designs. Like keep it like as high fashion as you can." I was like, "All right." And
biz
so
cash,
yeah, but like even a step above, they want like formal casual.
Formal. Yeah, they want you in a tuxedo.
Yeah. And so I look out of the curtain, and people are filing in, and I start to notice everybody filing in is like 50 years old or more.
Oh yeah,
and they're all like. Wasted. Dressed to the nines.
Oh,
I'm talking tuxedos. This is a formal evening. This is a formal evening. Okay, and they're all sitting down. I'm like, that's interesting. And I wait a little longer, and they keep coming in. It's all older people, which I hadn't noticed.
They're all
the
ghosts.
first. They're all floating. They're not walking.
Yeah.
And so they all sit
away
down
in 1918
on that boat. And they all sit down, and the cruise director comes out, and he explains, like...
How much time are you expecting? Are you doing an hour?
They said do 45 minutes.
Okay,
so the cruise director introduces me. He says, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from L.A., Brent Pella. And we're out, like, by the Antigua Caribbean island, right? And so the boat is rocking up and down because of the wind of the hurricanes nearby.
Right.
And 1,200 people, it's a full house. I come out, they play the music... And I'm jumping up and down like, I'm on a boat. Take a good look at me because I'm on a fucking boat. And then I look out at everybody and I'm like, what's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? Silence. Absolute silence. And this one woman in the front row, dressed in her Titanic best, dude. She stands up and she yells. She says, it's not a boat, it's a ship. I died. A piece of my soul left my body.
It's weird that you say the boat thing because people say that.
And they had told me before the show that I'm not allowed to do crowd work.
What do you mean?
I'm not allowed to do crowd. They're scared that I'm going to like make fun of someone. It's going to hurt their feelings or whatever. So I couldn't respond. Like normally during a show, I'd respond, maybe poke fun at her, poke fun at myself.
Yeah.
But I was nervous. I was like, you're right. So have you guys ever been in an Uber? The next 35, I only did 35 minutes and then I left. It was so bad, dude. It was like literal crickets. Like there wasn't even laughter. Because I was doing like my material. Like my Brent material.
Sure.
Which is not good for people age 60 and up wearing tuxedos.
What's also messed up is that it's like they saw it, like for some reason, like these old like boomers with their arms folded, like were already just like had made their minds up as soon as the Lonely Island track came on. They're 100%.
Like,
no, thank you.
No, we don't want. We want Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Enid aren't gonna like this kid. we don't like him.
Give me the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond.
I wonder why they were all so dressed up. Because I feel like what I hear the
tradition.
audiences are like for like the Second City people, they're always like, because it's like a weekly thing, right? It's like a new batch of people every 6 days or whatever. So they're like, Monday, we haven't performed a show yet, so no one knows who we are. And so it's like you're very anonymous and everyone's
That's what
chill.
I was like my first
and then
day.
it's like, then the first time they actually, like, you have a show, all of my friends that did the ships, not the boats. They did the ships. They were like, people are wearing like the kind of graphic tees that say like exercise, more like extra fries. Like they were saying
funny.
like these are
I
like
think it depends
rascal
on the
scooter
on the,
motherfuckers,
on the,
you know?
Cruise line. Because
Gotcha.
mine was
You were classy.
it was called the Celebrity, and apparently it's for the older class of like retirees and like people freshly retired that want to just like live on the boat for a couple weeks. And so the day after the show, I literally stayed in my room the entire day. I didn't leave once. I only got room service. I didn't even open my door so that the server would see my face.
Oh no, you can't.
And then the day after that, everybody got off. We got a whole new shipload of people.
And you're like, okay,
so
fresh batch.
fresh batch. And so I came up to like Stevie Nicks or something, and then it was like good for the rest of the shows.
Exactly.
But, man,
how long of a contract was it though?
1 week. I was on there for 1
Okay.
week. I was on there for the second half of
Thank
one
God.
shipload and the first half of another shipload. And then I bailed. Yeah. But the money was good.
Sure.
But they never invited me back.
I mean, I've definitely like bombed in front of a large group of people, and it is
Painful.
rough stuff.
It's a painful time.
Right before COVID stuff happened, I remember doing a corporate Christmas party for the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power in January of 2020.
What?
And so it was at the Ice House Comedy Club in Pasadena. So already starting out.
Yeah.
Good. And they were like, all right, we want 45 minutes. So that's like, that is an hour in comedy time, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we want you to do an hour for the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Apparently they were supposed to be served lunch and they weren't. And it was like a Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is very hungry and very pissed off that they haven't been fed. I get in there after a raffle because that's who you want to be.
Right,
your
you want to
opener
follow
is a raffle.
Yeah.
I get in there and right away I see the same kind of thing. Everyone is in business formal. They are suits and ties, and the boss is sitting like front row center. And so I'm like, okay, they told me like the boss. And then right as soon as I walked up, the like HR lady grabs me on the elbow and she's like, no, please no, like sex stuff, no cursing, no. And like you can't say that stuff to somebody like as I'm taking the stage.
Oh no.
And so I'm like, oh man, I didn't know I couldn't like curse. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I get corporate clean. Like I can do.
Yeah, corporate clean is one thing, but like G-rated is different.
Yeah. Where I like gone up there and I did like the first thing I did was like I tried to play by the rules and just got absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make fun of the boss a little bit. I can see people's like vibe is like that they're scared to laugh at things because the boss is there.
Right.
So like the only laughs that I got were me being like,
poking a little.
Your boss
at
isn't
him.
gonna allow you to enjoy this,
right?
And you guys are all starving, and this boss is not gonna.
Yeah.
And so like that was like the only thing. And then I'm like doing other bits of material, and I'm just like there came a point where I'm like 15 minutes into an hour of comedy where I'm like, honestly, I'm now gonna dial it the other way where I'm like, okay, you guys are just hating every second of me. I'm now going to punish you for making my life hell. So I'm like, I'm going to now do the fucking nastiest ass-eating, butt-fucking set that I can possibly do. Yeah. And so I did, and my buddy who booked me is in the booth. I can hear him in the booth just dying that these people are hating every second of this.
Oh, they even hated it when you went gross with it.
Because they just weren't, just the overall vibe was off. It was just bad. Everyone was starving. I think they were supposed to be served food at noon, and they hadn't eaten. So they're furious, pissed off already at the place. And so, I just ate shit. But then I just did some songs that were just like tortured the crowd.
Yeah.
And I honestly, as soon as I started doing that, I did my torture set list.
Yeah, that's cool.
You've heard me do that song, Turpentine, Wine, and Bleach,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That song, it only works if it's like a closer or something. I was like, I'm going to do this in the middle of the set. No preamble, no setup. And I'm just going to do this. And the whole bit is that it's just the same chorus over and over again for however long I want it.
Yeah,
and then I fake out, act like I'm not going to do it. I get them to sing it, whatever. It's a good closer. It's an energy, like, I'm out of here kind of song.
Yeah.
I did it for like 11 minutes.
Oh
I did it forever. And I did it. And I was like,
did they ever break?
There were people that were like fighting to not laugh. Like, it was just, by this point, I'd already lost.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to get back. Right. So once I turned it to like, fuck you guys, there was a little bit more people being like, all right.
Right.
Like, we're all here. Right. We might as well enjoy this bop.
That's so funny, dude. That song's hilarious, too. There's
zero jokes in it.
There's no jokes. It's
zero
just the
jokes.
Song. Did you ever pitch that when you were at SNL?
No, never. I don't think they ever saw me do that. They might have saw me, because they came and saw me in Chicago the year before I was hired. I auditioned for them as well.
Oh, cool.
So I auditioned for them twice.
Yeah.
The first time they saw me, I think I did do it. I think I closed my like 5-minute set. That's a very bad choice, Luke, personally. There's no jokes in it. Right. And it's only funny. It's only funny if I do the same thing for
Did you ever read about Will Forte's SNL audition? What he did?
I don't know if I did.
Oh, man. It was like...
I love Will Forte, though. He's like my absolute... like Mount Rushmore of,
for sure.
Of SNL people.
And he's also the Mount Rushmore of like really fucking weird characters.
Love it. And that's stuff like that he would do. They just would not let that stuff. They would never do that now. You know what I mean? It's just changed.
No.
Yeah.
So he So he oh my God. All right, I'm gonna read this to you.
His spelling bee bit is like one of my favorite ones of just like doing the like spell business. He's like, Z H Q.
Have you seen the Halloween one
W W W? Just for like 2-3 minutes, it's
nonstop. Did you see the Halloween one where he goes to his neighbor and he's like, "Hey, trick or treat! I'm a pedophile."
Yes.
Please, I'm just acting, but also please sign this. Like that says I'm a pedophile. So Will Forte's audition featured a song that he wrote and he sung where he would suck cock for face paint because he's a homeless street performer. The character is Will Forte as a homeless street performer singing about how he'll suck your cock in exchange for face paint. And apparently he sang it for like 2 straight minutes.
I love that.
At the end of his audition. And that's like... I mean, just to have the balls to do that is insane.
Oh, dude.
You know?
The first year that they had me audition for them, I did a very by-the-book SNL audition where you have
several
characters. Yeah.
Did you set it up at all, or did you do it like a run-through of 5? Did you say, this is da-da-da-da-da?
I don't set it up. Cool. I'm a guy that just goes into it, and if, I'm not an impressionist, so, like, they were all characters and bits and dumb shit, right?
Yeah,
so, like, and it went well, but, like, didn't get flown out. But then the following year, I was like, it's rare that they let the same people audition multiple times in a row, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, this year I'm just going to go real hard right turn on it. And I did one character for the full 5 minutes. And it was just me as Christian God. And I just have like my gray long wig. And I got a trucker hat that says sounds like bullshit to me. And it's just me. I just come out and it's like, what's up? I'm Christian God. Y'all have been fucking everything up nonstop. So I'm like, if you guys have any questions for me as far as like what you need to be doing, how things went, and so I was like, I had like a little bit of like a crowd work.
5 straight minutes?
I did the whole thing
of that character
of just Christian God, and then
this was in Chicago, right?
This was Chicago, so I think I did 4 minutes of Christian God, and then I ended with a little song, and that was it.
As Christian God or as Luke?
No, popped it off as me.
Wow.
But
4
I did.
straight minutes.
It was definitely a Hail Mary, and then when they ended up flying me out,
that is the audition that got you flown out.
That was the audition that got me flown out, and when they flew me out, they flew out a few other people from IO as well. And they had us on this email, and it was like, everyone, you can do your same 5 minutes that we saw you do in Chicago. So other than Luke, we need all new 5.
No
we need
way.
to see something other than that. And I was like,
that's hilarious, dude.
Okay. So I was like, fuck. But yeah, I just remember being like, this is a Hail Mary to just do this.
Yeah, it worked.
I have a buddy named Andy Buldak who's great, super funny solo sketch performer. He had a bit that Will Forte's bit reminded me of his bit, where he was like a mad scientist, and his whole bit was he's like, I've created a beautiful monster, but he will better society. And he brings someone up from the crowd and he puts like a monster mask on them, like he puts someone,
oh my god,
a willing participant, and he goes, "This is my boy. This is my special boy." I have designed him. I've spent my life working on him. He is able to suck the piss out of your dick. and then like, it's partially made to just make the person feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But then he keeps doubling down. He's like, but if you come in his mouth,
oh my god,
so help me. He's like, it is not for coming. He just is here to suck piss. And he like goes and he like has a clipboard and he interviews someone. He goes, okay, sir, do you need to piss? He goes, and do you like coming? No. You're a fucking, no, you're a joker. I can tell you like, you're just just interviewing people like to find, he's like, too many people have come in my boy's mouth.
Oh my God, that's insane.
I love a suck the piss out of your dick.
Sometimes the most insane shit that like just goes out there is like the funniest thing.
It's really about doubling down on it.
Yeah.
It's
committing.
It's committing
the fuck out of that reality.
And I feel like when you do sketch and improv stuff for a long time, you get used to kind of learning how to do it in a fun way where you're not really committing, where you're kind of doing a little bit of a winky to the back of the room, like
letting people know
I'm a little bit of a stinker.
I'm
above this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got good at doing that style of it, and then when I remember getting to New York, I was like, oh, that isn't gonna help me at all.
Right?
You can't.
What did you piece together for your
when they flew me out?
Audition? Yeah.
So I figured it was, the job of working there is doing the news of the day, right? You're writing of what stuff's happening is that week. So I remember the week I auditioned, I ended up doing like, I think it was like the eclipse had happened. So I did like an eclipse bit. I think,
eclipse bits are hot.
Did some eclipse bits.
Yeah.
Just killing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, did my one audition and got some response out of them, but they're like intentionally, it's a nice cold audition. They're trying to really give you anything.
Yeah, I've heard it's freezing.
So I was just like happy that I even got to do it at all.
Yeah.
Then they flew me back out again.
How long in between the two?
Probably like 3 weeks.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so I chalked it up to like, man, crazy story. What a crazy opportunity and wild story. They had me out again with a couple other guys, and again on the email said, another 5, please.
Wow.
And any impression. I didn't do any
impressions.
Oh,
you hadn't done
I hadn't done a
impressions.
single one.
Wow.
Who'd have thunk that I wouldn't have been a great fit for the job? But I was like, yeah, okay. And so in the news that week, Jay Cutler was coming out of retirement to play for the Dolphins again.
Yeah.
He was, and so no one knows who Jay Cutler. No normal people know who Jay Cutler is. He's not a well-known.
No, you have to be a football fan.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I did a Jay Cutler impression. That was like basically the thing that got me hired was, Jay Cutler's whole thing was that he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And so I was just like on my phone with a cigarette in my mouth, like,
like not giving a fuck that you were
not
on stage.
giving a shit at all.
Right.
And sweating them out and making them wait. And then my whole bit was just like that I'm on my phone. And then like I finally wait till they're like nervously laughing.
Yeah.
And then I like noticed them and I did like sorry, I was playing a game on my phone. We can do this like press conference thing, and it was me coming out, and they
so
just.
Do they know that you're Jay Cutler when you walk on stage? You don't introduce it like this is Jay Cutler.
No,
you just straight up go.
Just I'm in it.
At what point do they find out that it's Jay Cutler?
I definitely wrote the bit airtight.
Yeah.
But like probably a couple lines in, I'm like, it's me, Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I get the premise out, but
That's funny, dude.
I'm a believer in like if you're coming out and being like, here's my impression of a guy who thought he was buried, but then he's like, why am I buried? Well, I feel like if you do that, then the bit needs to be 10 seconds long. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
It's got to be. I have a lot of really strong opinions for 5 minutes. Where I'm like, I think if you're setting it up, you're burning your joke.
Time. Mm-hmm.
You're burning.
Or you're pooching the bit, as my good buddy says. My buddy Mike Wilson. He's always like, don't pooch the bit.
I think it's more fun for them to read
when they have the realization of, oh, that's what it is. Oh my God.
Whereas if you set it up and then you do a funny thing, it like if it's a one joker and then you're out of there.
Yeah.
I think that works. I also like people like younger comedians are like, I want to audition for SNL. What should I put in my 5 minutes? Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, everyone's instinct is put your impressions in. Or I'm like, I'm telling you, I didn't have any, they hired me. I got fired, but I'm like, they hired me off of no impressions. Right.
Right.
And I'm just saying, like, unless your impression is a 10 out of 10, and you have to remember, like, not only does your impression have to be 10 out of 10 and no one has done that impression.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Right.
Like, we already have a guy that does that. So it's like, this is useless.
Right.
So 10, it needs to be really, really good. And you have to remember, you still need to write jokes for that.
Right.
So sometimes you get someone who's really good at a thing, but then
they don't write.
They forgot to write.
Yeah, a lot of people have
stuff.
that talent of the impression or the facial expressions, but they don't have the writing behind it.
Yeah.
Did you, in either of your two camera tests, did you do music?
Both of them.
You did music in both of them.
Every time they saw me, I did music, which made me think, they hired me at least partially to do this.
I think that's what everybody thought when they saw your name in Variety.
Yep,
you know what I mean? Because it was like all those blurbs were
musical comic,
music comic,
yeah, that was definitely my thing. That was definitely my livelihood, was doing that. So I was like, this at least is, and I think it's not that they didn't like that side of me. It's that was never going to be the first thing they let me do. You know what I mean? They were never going to, and it took me too long into my time there to realize they're never going to let me do this. Damn. They'll never let me be guitar guy
really? Is it because they loved you so much for what you did in the tape, in the camera test?
I learned that what they hired me off of was my like don't give a shit,
fuck off attitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
They loved that and that's not that's a character. It's not who I am. Like I came in as a very friendly Midwestern young man, and they did not like that.
Wow.
It's a wild place.
It is a wild place, I've heard.
But yeah, man, like I definitely thought, they must want me to do some sort of
Did you ever
music.
pitch little like Adam Sandler Weekend Update song bits?
Absolutely.
Of course.
A million times. Never. Yeah. And the answer was a hard pass to all of them.
Damn. Do you own now? Because I know contractually they own any characters or bits that you create at the show. But anything that you pitch, can you do on your own? Like,
yeah.
Can you record it on your own, or like as a character, make a video of it?
I think that they wouldn't kick up any fuss for an old crook like me kind of situation.
Yeah,
I'm sure if I was making a bunch of money doing something, it's like one thing that I did during my time there. I pitched Donald Glover was the host, and I pitched him a song, and he loved my song. Right?
Oh yeah.
He was so cool to me and so nice to me, and he was like, "Where did you record this?" And I was like, "There's a studio and across the hall if we want." And he's like, "Take me to the studio."
Oh shit.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And so he goes over. He doesn't know any of the words. He just listened to my song one time. He's like, I really like this. And he was like, do you sell music? He blew so much wind into my sails when I was like, having a rough time.
Yeah.
He made me feel like $1 million. And he was
That's
like,
so cool.
He was like, you should sell music for like real music. And I was like, no. The answer is no. Yeah. But I'm like, this is so nice.
Yeah.
But he ended up recording vocals on a demo track that I had written for him
for
as
a
a
sketch.
pitch to him for a sketch, right? Wow. And he like didn't know any of the words, so it's just him doing like very like what was his big song? Redbone, very Redbone style singing like backup stuff on it, and I'm like, this is insane. Like I'm like losing my mind.
Can you say what the song was? Like,
so the song was, and it, the song. Looking back on it now, I'm like, well, yeah, sure, they didn't let me do that, but the thing that sucked about it though is that I have this demo with Donald Glover. This is the end of the year thing. I'm already probably going to be fired. So I'm like, their minds are made up. But I pitched them. I'm like, please let me read this at the table. Like this is all I want to be read aloud in front of everyone, because so much gets cut before anyone reads it other than whoever the head writer is. Right. So it's like, and they didn't even let me show it.
Let you, what?
So I didn't even get to like,
hey,
I thought
everyone. You could show anything.
No, they only read like 36 to 40 sketches a week. So, and there's, when I was there were 16 cast members and 16 writers.
Everybody's
so it's like, doing
2 per week, pretty much.
Some people are doing like 6 or 7. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're new, like you get 1. You might get 2. You know what I mean? So like, I'm like, please let this be my 1. So they didn't even let me do it, but I still have.
You have the demo?
This demo.
Do you have it on your phone?
I do, but I can't put it.
You can't play it? Can you play it here?
When you were asked, you
probably can't, huh?
You started out by saying, is there anything that you did there that you're like, they own it?
Right.
That's one where I'm like, if I ever, someday when I'm an older guy and they're done giving a shit, I'm going to like just kind of low key release this random ass demo from my time at S. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I just assumed they would sue me into the ground if I ever put it out.
Yeah, they might. So what was it about? What was the concept?
So the song was called "Have You Ever Been Horny?" in parentheses in a place where you shouldn't be horny. And so they didn't let me do it. But and then I was like, why don't you let me do it? And they're like, it's just too much. And I was like,
too much?
Jizz in my pants.
Jizz in my pants and twin bed. They have a song about having sex in the twin bed while your
so
parents
many,
are in the house.
And they were like, they earned jizz in my pants. And I'm like, okay.
Dude.
Okay. Yeah. That was like my most, I was just like, fuck it. Let's see. But
what was the hook?
The hook is literally what is the main
like
hook
how,
of the
like
song.
how does it go?
Oh, it's have you ever been horny in a place where you shouldn't be horny? Have you ever been horny in a place where you shouldn't be, place where you shouldn't be? And it was like
that's
Donald
so
Glover
funny.
was just like all over it, and he's the fact that he's singing
is he just singing like melodies like filler, or is he singing lyrics?
Wah!
Oh,
he's
that's
doing
cool.
he's like sailing over top, and
So
he's echoing me.
Were the main lyrics your lyrics to perform?
All of so the song would have been the two of us singing the song.
Oh man!
And I've played it at some stand-up shows where I had a buddy of mine etch out like a storyboard of what the video would have looked like. And I played
that's cool.
I have like a slideshow that I played.
Dude, you should keep doing that live at the very least.
But even then, I'm like scared. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, it's one of those things where.
But if you're not playing the recording, it's probably fine because it's conceptually. Oh, you are.
I'm not. I can't not.
You're playing
for live.
Glover.
For live.
Okay.
And I preamble it by being like,
Don't tell anyone.
Be chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
damn, that's funny though, dude. That's a funny concept, bro.
It's very stupid, very
so
simple,
dumb.
but it like the whole bit of the song is in like the first or two. It's like very obvious and things, and then I say like, have you ever been like cruising in a limousine? And then like the song like shifts very hard of like, hold up, like. Limousines are the sexiest vehicle there is. Like that's absolutely you should be horny in a limousine. So the song is very much like the period on it. It's very stupid to explain it without hearing it. But like as soon as you're like no, you can have sex in a limousine. Never mind. And then it's like that's the like. But he's so good. Because he adds there's like an instrumental part of it at the end of the song where he's just being like. You can have sex in a limousine.
That's
you know what I mean? And it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Damn.
It's
That's funny. At least you had that experience, man. With making him and he gave you like a lot of positive energy.
Things like that. Where it was like there were people that didn't need to be as nice to me as they were.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Will Ferrell was like that.
Oh,
I'm sure.
I'm
the
sure.
nicest, coolest, best dude. And I just was so nice to me in a way that he did not need to be like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially
I wonder if that's because he remembers having like a hard time when he was starting. Because you hear all those stories about the 90s and early 2000s where it was just like dog eat dog over there.
It's still very much
probably
like
still is.
Just like that. It has not changed at all.
Yeah. My buddy Chloe Feynman is on. Do you know Chloe?
I don't know her, but she's great.
She's great.
She's exactly the skill set they want.
Oh, 100%. When we were at Groundlings in 2019 was the class that we had. I called it. I was just like, next year is her year. 100%. That's when she gets it.
Killer impressionist.
And she's great. Yeah.
So good.
Yep. Do you feel like you got better when you were there? Do you feel like when you got there, between the time you got there and the time you left, did you leave with either a heightened skill set or like a new skill set?
I definitely left with some new twitches and irrational fears.
And a coke habit.
Yeah. I left with a fucking love booger sugar now.
Yeah.
I definitely learned with a gun to my head to write for TV.
Yeah.
And by the end of the year, I was getting enough things like picked and then cut at dresser.
Sure.
So I recognized like, okay, I'm getting better at writing. Mm-hmm. And that was I was fairly certain I was not coming back. But part of me was like, they do like my writing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I can tell that I'm getting closer to the mark. Because like the things I was writing early on, I'm like, I cringe a little bit of like some of the first few weeks of what the things I was pitching where I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, which it sucks that it's like that's all it takes. Like I came in pretty much DOA. Like there was nothing I really could have done or said that would have changed my fate there.
Yeah.
They did not need another white guy.
They never do, but they always pick them up.
They did not need me at all.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it's like I definitely found myself learning on fire to write for network TV. And so that is something that I still am like, all right, I now understand. It aged me a decade, man. Like I came in, you gotta understand. I had never auditioned for a TV show before. I was not in the industry at all. I was doing improv 6 nights a week and doing stand up in Chicago for $0. Right. I had auditioned for one Slim Jim commercial. That was it. The SNL audition was the first audition I ever had, let alone the first TV job.
Wow.
So I'm there and I'm literally like, this is the first time I've done anything like this. And I remember Steve Higgins, who was a producer on SNL and is like the sidekick for the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
He comes up to me and he gave me a lot of advice during my time there. He was like it was like the first day of like, I was like in a sketch and I had like 2 lines or something of the first week. And he goes, hey, no one's going to tell you anything or help you in any way while you're here. He's just like, that's just how it is. No one's going to try to help you. And he goes, just for your reactions. He goes, when the camera cuts to you, he's like, wait till you react, till you see the light, so you know the camera's on you. I was like, okay, that's great. This is good. He goes, also, do a 30th what you're doing right now. And I was like,
my God.
Oh, he's like, honestly, he's like, you're a live performer. You're used to like, you need to play to the person in the back of the room. Like you need everyone to see what you're doing. But he's like, you're basically doing like, He's like, we need you to like, he's like, honestly, just think of being surprised. Don't even move your face.
Wow.
It was his,
and that's the difference acting for camera.
I mean, this was all stuff I didn't know. So that way I learned so much over the course of the year of like, oh my God, like I'm so much cringy stuff of just being so green. That's really what it is. So the fact that I got to even be there and do that for a year is, you take your licks, but you also leave with like, I know how to do that now, or at least better than when I came.
That's cool.
That's wild.
And you didn't want to stay in New York after?
No, I didn't want. I'd never been to New York until I was auditioning for SNL,
dude.
And I'm like in the fucking cab going across the Brooklyn Bridge like Kevin McAllister.
Right.
Oh my gosh! I'm
like, Statue of Liberty,
dude. It took me straight from LaGuardia to 30 Rock. My year when people were like, "How did you like living in New York?" I'm like, I don't judge it, man. I can't judge it from the year I was there. It's too wild of a year to be like. I don't hold it against New York, but man, I didn't know anything about New York. Was not on my map.
Did you know any of the other who else was new that year that you got it?
So they hired a decent amount of new writers, but they Heidi Gardner and Chris Redd.
Oh, that's right, Heidi and Chris. Yeah,
Heidi and Chris, love them both. Shared a dressing room with Chris. Wrote a bunch of sketches with Heidi. Love them both.
Cool.
And then I shared an office with Andrew Dismukes, who is now on the cast.
Who's now on the cast. He was a writer before?
He was a writer. He was new the year I got hired. And, the few sketches that I got on the air were things that we worked on together.
Nice.
He's so funny. Such a good dude. Sam J. they hired my year.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah, Gary Richardson is so funny. He was new the year I was there. They hired a big batch of new writers because there was like kind of a changing of the guard because they just had like the old head writers had just left. Yeah. And so they like ended up firing in like 6 weeks into the year. Yeah. Some writers that were so funny and like people that I was bonding with, like Nick Kocher and Brian McElhenney.
Oh, dude, Britannic.
Those
guys are so funny,
dude.
Them. Do you keep in touch with them at all?
Absolutely. Love both those guys.
Oh, man, those guys are funny.
Those guys were the office next to me, and I remember like the week before they were fired. It was like they had wrote me in a few of their sketches, and I was like, oh my God, thank God someone is writing me into anything because no one else is.
Did they get fired during the season?
They got fired at a time like, so usually halfway through, there's a break, right? Like a winter break almost.
Yeah.
That it's like you can get fired at the halfway mark. It's possible to get fired at that. They got fired like 6 weeks in, which is like before Thanksgiving. Like it's not a time when people like normally get fired. So it was like very
had they been getting anything on the show? Any of their stuff? Was it making the cut? Because those guys
had
their
a couple
YouTube
things
videos
that
are
got
so
in.
damn funny and original.
They're
and like clever.
Excellent. So smart.
Yeah.
And they're both just very nice people.
I remember seeing like 1 or 2 sketches where I was like, oh, that looks like a Britannic piece.
They had a few sketches that got in for sure. They would know better than me, but yeah, those guys are so funny. I think it was just they were hired by the last guard. You know what I mean? They kind of got everyone who had been hired by the previous head writers all got axed at the same time.
Yeah. Damn.
So it was like, and that was like a fuck. Like it was definitely a pull the rug out from under me too, because I'm looking at this as these are your people. These are my new dudes.
Right.
You know, they're helping me out. They're throwing me in.
Right.
Like even as you give me one joke in a sketch, I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to hang on to the runaway train, man.
100%.
So it was like, of course they're gone. Of course these guys are being nice to me.
Those guys are so funny, man.
So funny.
I wonder what they're doing.
I didn't know they worked on the show, and I remember like the first day I was like moving my stuff in, I was like, I like fanboyed over them.
Totally.
I was like, dude, I subscribed to your guys' like YouTube page in like 2005. Like I was like,
that's cool.
I'm like, dude, I was all aboard all of those videos.
Yeah, when I read that they got hired, I was stoked because I was like, this is funny. These guys are like objectively funny.
They're so funny.
Yeah.
And like you said, so smart.
Yeah, super smart. Yeah. That's wild, dude. What a crazy time.
It's wild. It's a wild
What a crazy
place.
time.
Yeah.
It's I haven't been watching it a lot. Do you still watch the show?
I'll never watch it again. Never again. No. It's like dude, it's fucked up. Like it's like actual PTSD. Like, not even joking. Like I did not go into Saturday Night Live with any sort of anxiety hang-ups, anything of like, that you walk in there and just the way that it is run, it'll, they put a cigarette out on your iris the day you get there. So it's like, there were, for like a year afterwards, I was like waking up, like thinking I was like late or for a queue or like I'm telling you, like I never had shit like that in my life ever. So it was stuff like that where I'm like, oh man, yeah, it's a very like.
I got a taste of that when I was at Groundlings in that last level. It was. I don't think I'll ever go back there to that theater even to watch a show.
Groundlings, when people describe it to me out here, it reminds me a lot of
Scientology.
Exactly. It reminds me of Second City in Chicago, where it's like you must swear your life, and you must kiss the pinky rings, 100%. And you must
100%. I have no regrets about doing it. It made me a way stronger writer and performer. But good God, it's like coming back from Vietnam, dude.
The people that are in it, though, it does feel a little like you're part of if you're part of the club. Then you got nothing but love for it. And it's like, yeah. But I also love that they'll make you pay for classes, and then they'll be like, you need to take this again.
That's wild.
That's buck wild. I'm like, I would be like, oh, cool, yeah. Fuck you guys.
Dude, some people take every class like twice each time. That's $800 a class.
That's insane.
3 levels at the beginning and then 2 more levels if you make it that far.
There is a midway point where they're like, you're just done.
Some people have gotten booted. Some people have been like, teachers have said like, hey, your style just doesn't really fit with what we're
You do too many sexual assault scenes. That's like a real thing in improv class where it's like so many improv teachers in Chicago have to be like, hey, I shouldn't have to like say this up top, but like let's not do any straight up racist characters or like try to rape anyone mid scene. Like I'd love to not have to say this, but apparently we need to say it.
Yeah, dude, it was live sketch. I think it might be my favorite thing to do. Like more than stand up. Yeah, man. The fun I have like putting on a sketch that I fucking love, right? And not like it's a tight 2.5 to 3 minute sketch. We've rehearsed it. Every single line is purposeful. There's crazy behavior, wild relationship, and we can commit to that scene and those characters and do it. Those 2.5 or 3 minutes, if it crushes, like when a sketch crushes, for me, is way more fulfilling than doing like a 30-minute solo set.
I think part of the problem is that a lot of the time sketch shows are typically comprised of people that did not specifically choose to be together. They were like either a house team or that's where like if it's a group of friends that makes a sketch show of stuff they all are co-signing on and they all want to be doing.
Right.
Absolutely. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It starts getting in the weeds when you're like, man, I'd love. I really do have that rule. I've seen enough improv shows in my life that I'm like, I never want to see another improv show that is of a group of people that did not specifically choose to be performing together.
Right.
I've just, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Man, oh man, I think
it's tough.
The best comedy shows I've ever seen in my life have been improv shows. The shows where I walked out.
Dude, good improv is like the highest form of comedy. The best improv you ever see is like the funniest thing you'll ever see.
And you know what else? The best improv you've ever seen is usually, and by usually I mean always, between people who think each other are funny and trust each other and want to be 100%. And are friends.
Yeah,
you know
there's like an obvious chemistry to it.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember when I was in that last level, me and Chloe did a couple sketches. One in particular that was like the most fun I've ever had doing a sketch because we both loved it. We both co-wrote it. We co-wrote the characters based on people we know.
Love it.
And then there were other sketches that I did with other people in the class because everybody had to have like a couple sketches in the show.
Sure.
So I was like, the B guy to somebody's A character, and they're trying their hardest to like shine, and it's not really working, but I got to do it.
Hey, yeah.
And the chemistry thing is huge.
And then you notice too with sketch shows that like when people have like really poured some time and energy into it and made it tight, it makes it so much better than like most sketches seem so thrown together. Where it's like, just do your best and we'll kind of I've seen great sketch shows that are, but it's because the people are like, we can kind of riff it out. We know where the riffable areas are. Where it's like, but then there's too many sketch shows where it's like, you guys half-ass this.
You're just throwing shit at the wall.
And I'm all for it. But I'm like, you guys, if you gave one shit, this would have been great.
Would be way better. Yeah. So what's next for you, bro?
Probably suicide, or
that sounds cool.
Or I want to get a communicable disease
Maybe
and pass away. I want to get on a cruise. I want to die on the vine in there.
So coming out of SNL, now that because you still use this credit, of course, because it's a massive credit.
It's the only one I have.
It's a great credit.
Hey,
it's one more credit than I got.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. Do you does it help you tour? Did it boost your following at all, or help ticket sales?
Not really. It definitely did it helped me book dates for sure right out of the gate. Definitely like
right when you got it.
Yeah, like I think it got me a lot of college gigs. It got me a lot of that. I think by this point, the SNL, anyone who's following me from my time at SNL, it's like maybe they found me through that, but like no one's still coming.
Maybe they'll they'll swipe through and be like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah, exactly. I feel like for the most part now I've been doing stand up long enough. It's like the people that dig my junk are, maybe they discovered me from SNL stuff, but they're, they stayed for the good hoots.
They stayed for the good fun.
For the good old fashioned time.
The Luke Null ha-has, baby.
Exactly. Shout out to the Ha-Ha Comedy Club. The best place to perform.
Best of the biz, bro.
It smells like a urinal cake there.
It does. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's been good just like getting after it again, and now that stand up stuff has been opening back up, I'm like, I feel like I got another hour, like just about ready to go.
Brewing, nice.
And I've been really trying to do an evergreen hour that's not about the pandemic.
Wow,
all of it is not about the pandemic.
I'm trying to get my new material up to a half hour just about the pandemic.
I mean, I just figure once it's 100% over, people are gonna be like, I don't want to fucking hear about it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're still gonna have a period where we're laughing. It's like, remember,
it's a shared experience. It is something that we all have gone through. So I think
it's like doing 9/11 jokes. 9/11 being like a huge tragedy, but there was
wait a week.
Period, right? Yeah, a week after the last person gets the vaccine.
Exactly.
There was this period where no one really touched it, and then like everybody started touching it. Even in New York, when David Tell was doing 9/11 jokes within like a week or two.
Right.
But that's great. So is your hour only music? Do you do stand up at all?
So my last album that I did was like definitely has like some stories and things that are not musical on there. Just because if you're doing a whole hour, you do have to you can't do fastballs every time. You got to throw a change up. You got to throw a curve. So it's like I definitely had a few stories, like I kind of Birbiglia-esque.
Cool.
True stories with bits laid into them.
Yeah.
So that's like definitely when I do longer sets, I can't just come song. You got to break it up a little bit. So I definitely do that. And I've gotten in a bad habit of writing songs that are too long. So I've been trying to
How long is too long for you?
I'm talking like 5.
Oh, yeah. That's
5, 6.
Yeah, that's long. Yeah.
They are my best songs. Because,
Are they story driven?
So the last one that I made that I was very proud of is this like straight up like Devil Went Down to Georgia,
cool.
adjacent style.
Yeah.
Like it's like an epic of, telling a story. Bro.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I would do all that. I would do stories like that because I love my favorite thing about being a guitar guy stand-up is that you're able to hide who the hell you are. Unlike a normal stand-up, people right away are like, all right, what's the 3 sentences and they know your vibe of like, okay, this guy's okay.
Yeah,
I get his thing. For me, I like to come out and like, you don't really
trick them a little bit.
You don't really know who the hell I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my favorite thing is to just cold open on a song. That's great. I used to come out when I first started doing stand up, I would always come out. My bit was always like, I'm so sorry. I did not know this was like a comedy night. I'm so sorry. Like I did not. This is really embarrassing. But if we could just, put the laughs up on the shelf for a minute, and I want to invite you guys to feel and just like ride this with me. You know what I mean? And then I would do my songs, but it just like sets them up to be like, oh no, this is gonna be.
That's funny,
and then you
dude.
sing a song about.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Sucking toes.
I've been doing before the apocalypse started. I had a tour lined up where I was going to do a bunch of hour-long headline sets at a bunch of clubs that had projector screens that I specifically requested because I wanted to do. I was building up this like one-man show type deal where it was a mix of stand-up and characters, and then I would show like a video, like a 60-second video.
You got so many
and
good
then
vids.
Come out as that character and fuck with the crowd, and then
that's cool.
A bumper.
That's a good
between,
idea.
Like I did this video a while back. It was called Beyond Crack. It's a parody of the Beyond Meat veggie patty.
Yeah.
But it's crack cocaine made of all organic
I think I saw
ingredients.
That one.
Yeah, and so I would show that like in between two characters as a buffer. And so it's
while you're changing Adidas jumpsuit.
Exactly, and putting on my next wig.
This one's all red.
Right. Yeah. So I was building that, and so now this summer
Were you booking them independently? Were you?
Yeah, I don't have anything. I got no agents except a college agent.
You know what the best part of it is? Is you get to keep all of them.
I get to keep all the money,
and
dude.
You also get to take all of the when it hurts when you're like, all right, Boston did not show up for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I did, I did a tour before the world shut down, and it was like that last like October into November of 2019. And certain cities that I was like, man. I've never been here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some of them surprised me. Where I was like, I went to like Minneapolis, and I was like, Minneapolis like came out for me. They showed me some love, and then I got to Boston, and I was like, Boston wasn't having it.
Didn't show up for me tonight.
Boston did not come out for me. And I remember it's so embarrassing though, like especially when you've organized,
especially between the club and you're trying to like look good for your first time,
dude.
Yeah, man. I've been so impatient, like not being able to book a lot because I have to cold email everybody, so I look like a dickhead.
Yeah,
like I'm part of the mountain of comedians.
Yes,
begging for spots, like trying to make them know that I'm a headliner. I promise, right? And then
let me do 5.
But the thing is, the longer it takes for me to get into their headline rotation, the more people are going to be joining the Brent Pella family. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So then by the time
you can put some meat in the seats.
That's the like give and take of it. Is like, yeah, I got to be frustrated that I can't get it now, but the day it does happen, I'm hoping.
Do the Insta people come out?
This will be the summer of a test. The test of the summer is going to be this summer.
It'll be great.
We'll see.
It'll be great. And like what you just described is like, I think the absolute best version of somebody, because like you're already a good stand-up who was doing stand-up before your people started like your videos, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's not the case with a lot of these people.
Yeah.
They'll reverse that and they'll be like, I've been doing these Instagram things. I would love to make some money having live shows. And then like, because I've definitely like been on a same weekend or a weekend and like seen the shows that these people do, and they pack it out. They sell a weekend out.
Dude,
they make
YouTube
a bunch of money.
Influencer type people.
But then I'm like, you basically just came out and did videos that they already have seen before, but you're doing them live again. You're doing it, which is, I think someone will come once.
But they're not going to keep coming. That's
maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just jelly. But I'm like, it's more like, man, I wish I could. But I'm like, I desperately don't want people who've seen me once to see me do the same thing at all next time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of people do that. Like, fuck, I don't want to name. Maybe I'll tell you after the episode. But there's a guy who was like super big in sketch comedy on YouTube, and he was doing like a bunch of frat type stuff, and then he did like a stand-up tour. And I was asking different clubs about what he had done when I got there, like a year or two later. And they were like, yeah, it wasn't very good. He kind of just like
Ben
talked.
Shapiro wasn't that good. He ended up not being that good.
Kind of just talked and walked around with his head down, and then did like a Q&A for 30 minutes.
He said like 75,000 words in 6 seconds. And
then... right. And so no one's going to come back to see him when he, right? But then there's somebody like...
But hey, get that paper.
Get that paper, I guess. But also kind of fuck off and let me get the club. You know
I'm
what I mean?
with you. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to do a show and you're a YouTube influencer with no comedy act? Like book your own theater, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You don't need a comedy. You're gonna sell a bunch of tickets.
Some of them do.
Some of them do, and that's great. And that's probably a bigger bag than they would get from the comedy club.
I'm sure.
You know? And then there's people like JP who started on YouTube and then went to the stage. And this dude works just as hard on his stand-up as any other stand-up comedian.
Sure.
And he started on YouTube, and it's really cool to see.
It's I'm not hating on it. It's possible.
No, we'll hate on the ones who deserve it.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. But it is cool to see people like him that actually like put out. Like I heard Steve-O talking about that once, and how Steve-O was like getting a lot of shit from people for like taking people's spots at comedy clubs. But Steve-O was saying like, no, dude, I write, like I work on this shit. I bring a notebook, I record my set, I listen to it. So
there's
people like that.
Like the other lane, like it's a similar lane, but it's different. Of like celebrities that aren't necessarily they've done comedy stuff, but they aren't necessarily stand-ups. Yeah, and it's the same thing where it's like people will buy a ticket to come see you,
not to see your act.
But then you have to do 45 minutes of stand-up.
Yeah, there's a couple like that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple people like that. Yeah.
Then at the same time, I'm like, it makes me happy that I'm like, all right, I've put enough time and energy and work into this that it's something I think I now know how to do this at a level where it will be successful. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I've put enough blood, sweat, and tears into it. Now, like, I'm terrible at the online side of it. I'm just bad at it. I'm just bad at doing anything consistently enough to where if somebody saw a video that I made, they'd be like, oh, I'll follow this guy. And then like, I'm just bad at being like, and I'm only going to put out stuff like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I do too much. I feel like my thing is like, do too much of a scattershot of random shit.
That's kind of what my thing's always been too, bro. And I know exactly what you mean.
Because some people like they want you to stay. They would happily see 700 of that video
of that
character.
Like that Eminem impression. Right. They just like I remember when people were getting mad that I wasn't only doing Eminem, and then it became you're not only doing Joe Rogan, and then it became you're not only doing political stuff, and so I'm frustrated all the time because I feel like I don't have an audience the size that I would like, and I think that's part of the reason is because I've just been throwing spaghetti at the wall, doing random shit that I think is funny. So when you say you're doing kind of the same thing, I actually think that's better in the long run to just do things online that you think are funny. You know what I mean? And then eventually the people who also think that those things are funny, they're going to gravitate towards you at some point.
Definitely. And I think that the people that do, that are picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, I love them for that. That the people that are with me, I think are with me because they like that I can, do a few different things.
Yeah.
But I don't like one thing that's kind of wild is I remember like right before everything shut down, comedy clubs were booking you off of your number. You're like your follower number, and I'm like, oh, that's not going to be good for me going forward. Then cool.
It still is like that. I think it's just going to keep being more and more like that.
100%. They just want to know how many people you can email blast to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Meet in the seats. I get it. Dude. It's part of that's the job. Where I'm like, but now I'm like, oh God, now I have to focus on a thing that I genuinely don't care about.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but with guitar, you could do some fun stuff with guitar on the internet. Yeah. Right? Like some covers or like remixes of pop songs.
Yeah, but that's like not my my zone.
Yeah.
You know? I guess I could do that, but it's like part of it for me too is like I'm not the most technically savvy. I'm getting better at it as time goes on, but it's like when I put songs up, that's the things that like that's my bread and butter in real life. You know, if you see me live, But for some reason, like, I need a better audio. So, like, just doing it in front of like a cell phone camera, it ain't it.
Right. I feel you.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to. A lot of the times, I get too precious about putting stand-up stuff that I'm like, this is going to be on an hour, and I don't want to burn it. On Instagram. You know what I mean? But that's stupid. That's wrong.
It is stupid. I think that is wrong. I think that is a dumb thing. Because a lot of the videos that I put out, I do those bits on stage.
Sure.
And they have hundreds of thousands of views.
Sure.
And it still works live. So I think there's I would say what you're putting online, you don't burn. You're not burning it if you put it online. Unless it's on like a big time, like a Netflix special or like a special.
No, if it's on TV or something, you've burned it.
Yeah. But like a viral video of a joke, I still do. Like the Spirit Airlines thing that I made into a cartoon, got millions of views. I still do that bit sometimes just for fun. Yeah. I'll add new lines to it. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, so
yeah, it's a setup that people know.
Yeah.
And that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. For me, it's like, I get so in my head about that stuff that I'm like, it's just not my lane.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it needs to be. Yeah. I need to be better at it.
It needs to be
so
your
I'm like,
lane.
fuck. Like, I need to get better at that, but I'm like, I need to get like it seems like an insurmountable thing of like, I gotta get this new lighting
the internet
rig
sucks, dude. Yeah, and you gotta upload it, and then there's a problem with the upload. You gotta learn about MP4s.
Dude.
You're watching a tutorial, you spiral down a rabbit hole, all of a sudden you're buying sports cards.
And then you're red-pilled.
and then all of a sudden Bill Gates is a lizard person, and you're never
women's
coming back.
fault. Women are doing this to me. Yeah, I tried. That was one of my like quarantine like things. I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn how to edit.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Did you?
So, I mean, more than I knew how. But what I really learned is, I need to actually invest money in multiple things before this is even viable. Because I was like just learning basic like how to literally cut things up at all. Yeah. And like straight up like in iMovie, like for free.
Sure.
Like I know anything. So I'm like doing stuff like this where I'm like, okay, this is definitely like the same thing of like trying to sit down with a guitar on your lap and just be like, and now I will be good. It's like, no. You need to put hours into this to learn how to do this. All the programs are different. As you get deeper into it, you're like, okay, I now see the limitations of this Truman Show box.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if I invest in this program, I think I would be able to do this, and this much easier and much better and cleaner and faster and blah, blah, blah. And I can export to these places easier, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh, my computer isn't good enough to do this. Then I'm like, okay, good. So now I need to buy a new computer so that I can buy a new. It's like it's shit like that where I'm like,
yeah.
And these are all just mental blocks. These are all things I'm like, I just gotta eat it.
You just gotta do it.
I just gotta eat it.
And then a year later, you're gonna forget that you ever even stressed about paying for that shit.
I know. Yeah. It's stuff like that where it's just like I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, I just need to fucking.
You just gotta do it.
Kiss the pinky ring of Bill Gates and buy
capitalism, baby.
Yeah, but fuck it. I mean, it is fun. Like, editing is fun.
It is fun because you can still write during the edit. You take a line, you move it around, you take a bit or a beat or a moment from that you didn't see before, you put it in a place that you weren't expecting, you have another laugh.
Yes.
It's fun. It's my favorite part of the process right now.
You made a billion videos, and I'm sure you've done videos that other people have edited. Have you ever been in a video where you're like on the day, you're like, this is fire. Like, this is so fucking funny. And then like you see their edit and you're like, oh
yes, 100%,
man.
Yeah, dude. Yes, and that's why
what you use?
That's why I edit all my own stuff. Yeah. Every single video on my pages.
Oh yeah,
I edit.
Yes,
and I'll only repost a video. Like I'll do a collab with friends, and sometimes I'll repost the video collab. And I've not posted some of them because the editing is like slow paced or it's choppy. Because dude, bad editing will fuck up a story. It makes you look like a bad actor.
Yeah.
You know? It makes everybody look bad.
You can that's the thing that's scary with video shit is like there's not only one way for it to be good, but it's like there's so many ways for it to be bad.
Yeah.
Like on the day you could be like, this was so funny, it's edited great, the sound's not good. People aren't gonna watch it.
Yep.
The lighting is off.
Yep.
It's like, and these are things I don't know anything about.
Yep.
And I'm like trying to read about it, but I think again it's a lot of like, and I'm like, no, dog, I'm 30. Like I can't start now. I feel like,
but you can.
I know.
You
but
can.
I'm like, what I can do is find friends of mine that are good at that already.
Yeah. If you can collab with people, that's fun. But then it's like,
then you're at
you got to rely on people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's why I learned how to edit in the first place. I remember the very first comedy video I ever made was in college. And we shot it on like
called Tub
handy
Girl.
cam. Right? 2 girls, 1 cup. And we shot it on like a Sony handy cam. And then I brought it to my friend to edit because I didn't know anything about it. So I was standing over his shoulder like, can you move that part there?
Some of my best memories are being that guy over a friend's shoulder. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you got next. No, get
no,
rid of
not
that one.
one.
The next
move
take
it to that one. Yeah, no, move the mouse here. And then he at the end he was like, do you want me to color it? And I was like, what? What do you mean color it? He's like, well, it's not very saturated. And I was like, what do you mean? It's not black and white. You don't have to color it. And then that's how I learned about coloring.
See, I don't know. Literally, I know zero about that.
So now I color my own shit. I sound mix my own shit, and I edit my own shit. And I used to send it off to 3 other people to do that. Like 4-ish years ago, I started cutting down on those people because it takes up their time. I can't afford to pay them.
You don't want to wait for a turnaround too. I'm sure. Just like I'd rather be able to control all
everything.
The steps.
Yeah.
And for it to be a good product, which you know how to do. Then I started like editing stuff just for fun, and I was like, okay, these are things that are making me laugh, and I think that they're fun, but they are like, I made them knowing they're going to be a little shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, this works because it's got a little Tim and Eric-y, like public access shittiness
Tim
to
and
it.
Eric is that's my.
I mean, that's it.
That's my biggest inspiration right now.
Same. It's the gospel.
It's so funny.
I love those guys.
Do you like Eric Andre?
I mean, yeah.
Have you seen Bad Trip yet?
Twice.
Did you watch Bad Trip twice?
Twice.
Bro, it's so funny, dude.
I love it.
I can't believe they pulled some of that stuff off.
I love it.
He almost got shanked at the barbershop.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I love it. And that's that's a good example of somebody that I'm like, I love watching that show. Eric Andre show was like maybe the last show that I like prioritized. Like, all right, it's on at this time of the week. I would like get home and watch it. You know what I mean? Like, like that's the last TV show that I was like, I gotta see the new.
What's your favorite sketch show of all time? Of all the sketch shows, Kroll, Key and Peele, Amy Schumer,
probably Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show's
Mr.
Probably, Show.
Chappelle Show is probably the one that I've seen the most but it's a good example of something that I watched, enjoyed, loved, that I knew that I could not do. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
But you know what I mean? Where I'm like, that's kind of what I love about it. Like I love watching comedy stuff that isn't in my blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, I love Eric Andre because it's just something I know I couldn't do.
Totally.
But I love it.
You know, I have that with stand-up. That's why I love Anthony Jeselnik. I could never do stuff like that.
Same.
Hard. And it's my favorite thing to watch.
But I also love good music guys too. Like I love Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, cool.
Bo Burnham, Stephen Lynch.
Dude, Bo Burnham's so good.
But they all do things differently than I do. Like Morgan J. is a great example of somebody who I met when I moved out here. So fucking funny, electric performer. Mm-hmm. It couldn't be more different in his approach, even though we're both guitar guys.
Yeah.
We are very different.
So different.
You know?
Yep.
Where I've been inspired watching him because he's so good at, especially because he's like so good on Zoom stuff of just like riffing with people. And like,
it's crazy how good he is on Zoom.
He's excellent at it.
It's wild. Yeah.
He's excellent. And he really inspires me to get better at, kind of doing more crowd work stuff. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, I think he's the fucking master at it. Being a guitar guy, having a great voice, singing good stuff, that's something that I think we really align on. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, I also like, there's certain times where that's not going to be it's not going to work as easily as just like coming locked and loaded with a couple like, I come with material that I know these will work. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're paying me to be here, I'm not leaving anything up to chance.
Right.
But I want the confidence that he has to be like, fuck it. I don't know. Just gonna play 3 chords and kind of just like see what's up with these people.
Yeah, it's so funny, man.
I love it.
I've seen him go off for 20 minutes on a crowd work set, just nonstop.
Yeah, I've seen him not do a single
lick
of material. Yeah. And I've been like, God, I wish. And so because I'm like, I planned it out. You know, I'm written. Mm-hmm. Not that there's not. So what I've started to do is I've started to write in sections where I intentionally am riffing. I'm like, cool. Riff for X amount of time. And we'll see what's over here, and we'll see what's here. And I know something that's waiting for me that I'm coming back with a guaranteed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I love watching people that do on the surface the same thing that I do, but it's totally different.
Totally different. Yeah, different. That's the most fun, man. I can't even watch people that are similar to me anymore. I had to stop watching Chris D'Elia a couple years ago.
Because you're so into 16-year-olds?
Yeah, because I was competing for all the 16-year-old girls out there. No, people kept coming up to me like, "Hey, you remind me of Chris D'Elia, man. You're so funny."
He's very funny.
And like that's a huge compliment because I love him. But I don't want to remind people of someone. I wanted to I felt like, and this was early in my stand-up. This was maybe, what did I just say, 4? I think it was more like 6 years ago. I feel like my like high energy type stuff and the beats that I would hit were kind of similar to his. Because when you first start doing stand-up, you are parroting. You're parroting the people you watch.
Of course.
You know, so I was watching a lot of him and a lot of I guess Sebastian. I was watching a lot of Sebastian.
Sure.
And so I think that was coming out a lot. So I literally have not watched any D'Elia stand-up or Sebastian stand-up in years. And I fucking love the guys, but I don't want to be too like heavily influenced subconsciously. You know?
I think I'm the same way where it's like I feel like I just absorb so much stand-up via osmosis of just being at stand-up shows and seeing other people. And I love it. It's my favorite thing. And part of me is like, I love stand-up. I love watching people and getting to know people through seeing them grow like over the years and seeing like, oh man, he's gotten so fucking good. And like I find that I am genuinely happy for people who I've become friends with when I see them do really well. You know what I mean? Or do like even if it's like before me and I'm I gotta follow him murdering. Yeah. Or whatever. And it's like, but I've started to be like, would I come buy a ticket? And I'm like, no.
Right.
I love them. It's my favorite thing to do. But I'm like, I don't think I would leave my house to like buy a ticket and come to a comedy club.
Right.
And I'm like, that's so fucked up.
That's so fucked up.
That's so fucked up. I'm like, I expect other people to want to do it. Yeah. And I like love the people that do want to do that and think that's fun. Where I'm like, I would
never do it. Would never do it.
Won't do it. You know what I mean? Like that's
totally.
But then there's also like, sometimes when you're watching someone who you love, someone who's like at another level than you, we're not on the same show. I'm like seeing this person that's good. Yeah. It's hard to just enjoy it because you're just looking at behind the curtain of it. You're like, man, great. Like this is how I watch my favorite stand-ups today. Yeah, that's it. And that's a huge laugh in the audience. Oh, it just your destroyed. Quick chuckle. Yes. Yeah. Where it's me just being like, man, I love that move. What a good setup. That's such a like. I love peeking behind the curtain. I know what you were doing, and I love that. That's the payoff. And then I go like, then the second is like, fuck. I wish I had written something. Now I can't write it because now I'm thinking of that kind of thing. I'm like, I can't do anything like that because that's too close to I'm not trying to take someone. Yeah. But I'm like, I find so much inspiration, and I always make sure to do like 3 echoes away. Where it's like, man, that was like a really great playground bit. And playground, I'm like cotton candy, and sometimes cotton candy's like, oh man, I'm gonna watch my sugar intake. All right, now this is gonna inspire my sugar intake song. You know, where
totally,
it's like
totally.
Where I try to like, but it's hard for me to enjoy it. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, I can't enjoy it. Yeah, so it's hard because like my fiance, thank you, congratulations, so much. Love wins. She she's like, we should like watch a comedy, and I'm like, I can't. Yeah. Like I don't enjoy them. Yeah. It's hard, and it sucks. Yeah. Because I want to. Yeah. I feel yeah. It's like you're watching I'm in school. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're back at work and you're just watching work being done. And then there's like a FOMO element to it too, where it's like, man, why couldn't my reps put me up for that? I could have fucking dunked on that. I could have dunked on that. Are you auditioning? I'm auditioning. Yeah. It's been good. Definitely been auditioning for things that for the first time in a long time, I'm like, these are things are in my wheelhouse and I can actually. Oh, that's great. And that did not used to be the case. Yeah. There was a period of time where you were going out for things. I'm like, why am I here? Yeah. Dude, I stopped doing like I bailed on the past couple of self-tapes for commercials. Really? Just because nobody wants a guy that looks like me in a commercial. I mean, I've never even gotten a callback. In a commercial? Yeah. It's a numbers game, dude. I know, but it's also like... They feel gross. They're all gross. But it's money. If you get it. Otherwise, it's a waste of like an hour doing a self-tape. Oh, yeah. And so I kind of just have been bailing because I want to edit my own shit that I'm going to put out. You know what I mean? 100%. I would love to have the opportunity to go out for TV or movies, but I'm also like...
I don't have any rep, so I'm just going to wait until I have an audience big enough to make me have the strength to just make something on my own.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
And we are kind of in a weird transitional fossil of a time of like, you know what I mean? Where it's like so many, it's become so decentralized too, where it's like, it used to be if you wanted to do this at all, you needed to be in Los Angeles or New York.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Dude, I have a buddy that lives in Fargo.
Yeah.
North Dakota or South Dakota? It is in a Dakota.
They should be one state.
They 100% should be a state.
They should be Canada.
No reason to have a North and South Dakota.
They have 4 senators.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot for the Dakotas.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of representation for 11 murderers.
Right. Dude, he lives out there and he has millions of followers all over his channels.
Yeah.
He came to LA to do a video like a year or two ago. And
Isn't
I was
that
asking
wild?
him,
That's wild.
I was like, dude, would you ever like want to move out here? And he's like, why would I move out here? Look at what I've done in Fargo.
Yeah.
He's the man in Fargo. And his stuff pops. I'm talking, this is Miles. This is Oh You Betcha on Instagram. And he's hilarious. He's also the nicest guy.
Sure.
And, you know, it's to that point now where you can do this shit anywhere, dude.
Yeah, if you can survive.
Anywhere,
I mean, like with stand-up stuff, it's like people are like, oh, you got to be living here. And it's like,
even
if you really want to do stand-up stuff, you have to be somewhere. You have to be on the road.
You have to be on the road. Exactly.
If you want to make money doing it, you need to travel.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is... I mean, it will come back, but it feels like stand-up comedy clubs will be the last thing truly to 100% come back.
I know.
And if they do, I don't know if it'll be the same.
I hope so.
I hope so, but part of me is kind of anxious, but also excited of the forest fire that we just experienced of the comedy landscape, because I'm excited to see what shoots up in the place.
Dude, I think there's gonna be a lot. I
do too.
I truly think it's gonna explode. I think
so too.
Once the clubs come back to capacity and start letting people in, and we're done with the masks and the mandates and the distancing stuff, which I would hope would be by the end of this year, but who knows?
Hopefully,
maybe Fauci will say 2030 just for kicks. Yeah. And
Fauci just be trolling.
Yeah, dude. But I think
it does seem like comedy clubs are like, all right, how do we jam the most people in a dank basement?
Right. It's a dirty environment.
Worst possible setting for COVID stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But once we're out of this whole pandemic energy, I really think people are gonna flock fucking hard to live events.
So
and
live events for
to
sure.
All live events, to DJ shows, EDM, music festivals when festivals come back, comedy clubs. And
comedic DJ events,
dude. I think it's gonna absolutely. I'm so excited. Excited.
You know what I'm like? I'm not excited about, but I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna shake out, because they're like, I think places like the Comedy Store or whatever, where there's definitely like some geezers there who got passed in like 1992 and have been pretty much doing the same 10, 15 minutes ever since, because that's definitely a guy there. There's a bunch of people who are real mad about cancel culture. Yeah. Why won't they just let me say a slur and that be the joke? It's like, okay, man, cool. Yeah. I wonder if some of those old institutions that were just like struggling throughout all this, I wonder if they're going to be like, all right, come on back, weirdo. And I think the answer is yes. I think they will have all those guys back.
I think a lot of them are not going to come back, though.
See, I think that those are the people that are certain to come back.
Really?
I think because you have like your people, guys like, your Joe Rogans and stuff. They're like, no, I fucking moved. I'm not here anymore. You know what I mean? Like people like that, aren't, they decentralized rather than
right.
I'm sure there's a bunch of like the sadder breed.
The sadder breed,
things haven't been going as well, but they're gonna be like, and I can have my 1 a.m. slot back.
Right,
like,
right.
Dog. Like this.
I think a lot of people are gonna quit though. I think a lot of people who are hobbyists or had their day jobs and were just doing this like from time to time, or like we're not good for a long time, like 6 to 10 years of being
not good has never stopped any not good stand-up.
That's true, but I think that plus a pandemic forcing them to like rethink their entire life structure.
You might be right. I'm hoping you're right.
I am too, because then it's get out of the way so that we can you know what I mean? That's why I didn't want to move out of California when everybody was leaving California, and I thought about it. I gave it legitimate thought. But I fucking love California,
love
dude.
it
It's
here,
ups
too.
and downs,
I
baby.
love it.
We'll be all right.
I'm excited
You know?
for what the scene is going to look like, and I'm like not the club scene. Like all the other fun shows that existed in
like
LA,
the indie shows.
so many good shows
Yeah.
that aren't necessarily the at the Laugh Factory or the store. Or the Improv.
Right.
So much other good shit that I'm like, who knows what's going to be the new fun, cool thing. Part of me is like, I'm like a little anxious about just having to find out.
Yeah.
Like, all right, who do I got to hit up? What do I got to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, but it's also, that's going to be fun. It's going to be cool because I do think it's going to be a new crop of people.
Yep. I
And
think
that's
so
for
too.
the best.
I think so too. I think it's everybody that's going to do it again is going to be like really good.
I hope so.
Too, which is cool. I think we're going to see a lot of people being like really strong after this.
I'm with you,
Which is
man.
going to be fun.
It's funny. It's like, because I know I did not put, like, have you put a lot of time and energy in to break it into the club scene in LA?
Only the improv. I did chocolate sundaes at the Laugh Factory right before everything shut down. I've never been a store guy. I get it. You know, so much respect for the store people.
They're not going to have much bullshit.
No love lost, but you know, I don't think that's the vibe for me to go there and hang out for 7 years to get my name on the wall. But I go to support and hang out with friends. It's a fun hang place.
Sure.
But I love the improv, dude.
I love hanging at the improv the most.
Yeah, that's my favorite place. So hopefully, and also with all these people having left that were like names that were in the regular lineup. Had you started getting in there before everything? Were you doing
improv?
Yeah,
I was doing
like lab sets.
I feel like I was doing a bunch of lab sets. Which what's up with that place? What's up with that space,
weird, dude? They got to rearrange that shit.
I know.
Or
I think
stop it. I don't know. One or the other.
The vibe is off in there.
Yeah, but the main room is so fucking fun.
I mean, yeah.
And so I was just starting to do like the first couple spots on the late set of the main room, and so now like 10 people of the main show have moved to fucking Austin or New Jersey or whatever.
Right.
So I'm hoping that, you know, we can kind of come in and take those spots, dude. Let's keep it moving.
Things are gonna,
you know what I mean?
Change a little bit.
Yeah.
There's definitely gonna be some vacancies to be filled.
Some vacancies to be filled, dude. Some vacancies to be filled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're all gonna be rich.
Oh yeah, because that's what we're in comedy for.
Exactly. I'm here to rake in the big bucks from my Patreon.
Do you do Patreon?
No.
Me neither.
I need to.
People keep
shout
telling
out
me
to
to do
Patreon.
it.
What's up? You should, but then you have to like.
Then you gotta do more stuff. I don't want to do more stuff.
Then you're beholden to the sponsors. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I don't
show my butthole puckering on Thursdays.
If in the next 2 years I don't like do what I would like to be doing in the next 2 years, then I'll probably start a Patreon because I don't really want to be poor.
I would love to stop being as poor as I am.
Yeah.
And I just want for them to bring back Crank Anchors a third time for me.
Are those your two wishes?
Those are my two things.
Those are your two post-pandemic wishes?
If Crank Anchors being brought back specifically just for me as all the voices doesn't work out, then I'm going to do a Patreon where I drink smoothies and
make
fart
puppets
or whatever.
Yeah. I don't even know what to do for my Patreon. I guess I would do an extra podcast a week, but God, it's so much. I guess it's not that much work. But when you're doing, look at all the videos I have coming up. It's like I got to edit 8 things right now.
That's a lot of things. They can't see this on your videos.
No, that's secret.
So they don't know all the good stuff that's in the works.
They have no idea, dude.
Oh,
my whiteboard is cut into 3 sections.
There's some definite winners on there.
Edit and done. What's of the ones that are in write and shoot and edit of those 2 columns? Which one are you most excited for?
I think, the ones that right away that I'm like, this will be good.
Yeah.
Is Loud Motorcycle Guys. Yeah. I'm like, oh, Loud Motorcycle Guys? That's already written.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. I'm so excited for that
Book
one.
it.
Yeah. Me and Aristotle are going to be those, just like, how you hear fucking motorcycles that are loud all the time.
Absolutely.
We're going to be those guys.
For sure.
Like yelling at each other at an intersection.
I love that. I love that South Park episode of just being like, You're bike curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I love it.
It's fun, man. It's cool.
There's some good stuff in there. Oh, the Duns. I didn't even really look at the Duns.
Yeah, there's a bunch that are done that I still got to put out.
I see one that you did put out. That
I got to take that off. Yeah, Spiritual People Politics and Conspiracy Bros. The Drake one has been done for 6 months. I'm just waiting for him to drop his album.
Got you. It's all right. You already have the hot take on the.
Got the hot take on the new Drake. He was gonna put it out in August, so I shot it in August, and then he postponed it. So now I've just been sitting on it.
Hey, that's good.
But it's good.
You want
stuff
in the hopper.
Yeah. You want stuff loaded and ready to go.
Do you ever feel like, because you genuinely enjoy doing this. So
really do. I really love making video stuff.
I feel like when I see people who have gotten to the point where they're like, it's now expected of them to be cranking stuff out.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I wonder if do you hit a wall? Are you like, man, I just got to like, not do it for a week or two.
Yes. And then I don't. And then I don't do it for a week or two. But I try to be a week or two ahead of time.
So that you
get... For the cases when I hit that. Like, I just hit that 2 weeks ago. And I had like rushed through the edits on 1 or 2 videos so that for like maybe a week, I didn't even touch a script. And all the creative work I was doing was I was writing stand-up here and there. I was performing stand-up shows on the road. I had a couple podcasts to like get out. And I was doing some other stuff, but I wasn't touching short form video content type work for like a week and a half, and it felt so good.
You know where my brain immediately goes is to a bit that's just like I have a bad habit of going down a rabbit hole of a bit that needs too much setup for not enough payoff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
those are funny.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah,
that's my entire act. It's just a long walk to like, okay,
all right.
No, I'm kidding. But the idea of a video sketch of exactly what you just described of like sometimes I have a lot of videos that sometimes I just get burned out of making videos. So I try to be ahead of schedule so that I have videos in the hopper to release during times where I don't really want to work on a video. With that being said, a lot of my videos are of the day, of like the news of the day. So I've started to think like what's something that'll probably happen in 2 or 3 weeks from now that like someone's going to want a hot take of it. If you're just making predictions so that the weeks you're burned out being
right.
Yeah, I assume Betty White will die this
That's
week. You
funny,
know what I mean? Where
dude.
It's like,
yeah.
Any day.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but then it's just like such a meta thing. It's like no one wants that, but that's what I want. Is to see you planning to not make a video 1 week and just trying to
predict
whatever the trending thing is. Yeah.
That is really funny, dude. That's a good
stupid.
idea. Gavin Newsom falls downstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe Biden falls asleep at the prompter. Ted Cruz flies to Louisville.
Q proven right.
Q proven right.
Q vindicated.
Hillary arrested.
Exactly. Yeah. But I almost
just the most insane things you're predicting.
I like things that are more like innocuous that don't really matter that much. Where it's like this big Brawny Towels scandal. Where it's
What
are you talking about? Like things that you're like,
Charmin released racist tweet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like
That's
I can't
funny.
believe. Yeah, it's just things where you're just like
Penelope Cruz forced to apologize for Instagram
because then
posts.
if one of those does happen, that video would have a blow up of like he predicted this.
Yeah, dude, that's a funny concept. Dude.
That'll be me and you do a video someday where we just
could
predict.
We could be the guy that like a YouTube team that like is always 2 weeks out.
We're trying to do 2 weeks out because we're really burned out right now.
Right.
We do not want to make it.
We have our content set for the whole year.
We're going to Puerto Vallarta for the next 2 weeks. So we're just trying to get a lot of stuff done today. All right. Because
should have pitched that at SNL, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have gotten on for sure.
I'm pretty sure in a few weeks, Chet Hanks is gonna say some shit. Let's just get ahead of it now.
What's the Chet Hanks thing that's going around right now? Is that just a meme? Or did he do something?
He came out. He's been making videos. We're up for White Boy Summer. Have you not seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
Let's get it on the board.
Put it on the board.
Get it on the board.
Put it on the board.
Yeah, he made a list of rules of what White Boy Summer entails, but he's just like, this summer's going to be White Boy Summer.
Is it a funny thing? Is it like comedy? Or
here's the thing. He's getting like absolutely eviscerated for it, right?
Yeah.
But then when I saw the little clip, I haven't gone down the rabbit hole and watched all the other videos, but just the main video that everyone was talking about, I was like, I think he's doing a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's joking.
Okay, I got to watch it.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's a little crazy, too. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? That's all the kind of stuff that I do enjoy watching on the internet where I am questioning whether or not the person is, like, in on it or not. Yep. And my favorite is when I know they're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love watching some good quality cringe stuff. Like, my TikTok algorithm is fucked. It's fucked, dude. Like, all I like are stuff of just the darkest shit.
Really? That's funny. Mine's all cooking now.
See, yeah. Caitlin's is like cooking stuff, travel videos. And I'm like, I would never see this. I could scroll for 11 hours and all I'm going to see is like mentally disturbed people like trying to do stand up or like somebody yelling at their doing like the video replies to every like that's my lane. I love watching somebody be like, listen, motherfucker, if you write more comments on this, I will find you. I don't know how I'm gonna do like the people that I love on TikTok are people that are trying to be hard and yelling at the video replying to comments while also being simultaneously vulnerable about like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, my shirt was ripped.
Yeah.
My other shirt is in the fridge. So it's like you're you're giving them 1,000 times more ammunition by making this response than that's all I want out of the internet. That's
dude.
the only thing.
Do you
that brings
post to TikTok a lot? You could do pretty good on doing music stuff on
Here's the thing. The music stuff doesn't get anything. The only things that I've posted to TikTok that people really respond to are when I do duet, when I
duets are fun. Yeah,
I've done these duets with this one girl who I love, and she does she cosplays as a waitress for Ma and Pa's Kitchen, just a made up restaurant. So she just like looks at the camera and she goes like, "So what would you like today?" And then I'll do the video where I'll fill in the blank. And she's really sweet, and I like genuinely love that she has so much fun making these videos. But I make them a little goofy. But other people are so mean to her, and I'm like, don't be mean to her. She's doing this like the internet is brutal.
The internet is so brutal, dude.
But it's weird because I made a couple of those videos where I replied with her, and they for me they blew up on. I don't have anybody following me on TikTok, right? But so like these got shared around a bunch, and it's like, oh, a bunch of people watched my stupid, TikTok duets. Yeah. And then all these kids are like more. Like they're always adding me whenever she makes a video.
Oh, so that's
I'm
funny.
Like, okay, she's made 11 of these videos. Like, I guess I'll do one. And then I do one, and then like people. But then like anytime I do anything else, people are like, all right, this is fine. you gotta do more duets.
But do the duets though. This is funny, but like do the duets.
See, do you ever fuck with the duets at all?
No, dude. The only thing I do on TikTok is repost a minute-long clip of my video, and then I'm off. Because otherwise, I spend an hour scrolling through stuff.
Love it.
And but I have never been able to get into like the style of TikTok. Some of the videos that people edit on TikTok, the edits are so crazy.
People are,
and like I consider myself a pretty pro editor.
But they're doing it in app,
and they're doing it in app, and I'm like, I can't even do that on my laptop.
I know.
I don't get the timing. The spatial like rearrangement within the video, the aspect ratio stuff, and the mapping.
Terrible. I don't know
unbelievable.
Anything.
And it's like teenagers that are doing this.
There's some of them that like have a camera videotaping how they're doing it, and I'm like, that's insane that you got that good.
It's crazy.
That. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
I wish I was better at that. Then there's times where I get too judgy of myself. I'm banging the microphone. Like where so many people do like the themselves as two characters kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love that, and I feel like I would be good at doing that. But then I'm like, and then I like will do it. I'll edit it together, and I'll be like, I hate myself.
Yeah. Do you still put it out?
No.
Oh, you got to put it out. You should
don't.
put it out. You should always put it out.
I need to.
The internet's TikTok. It's the internet.
It doesn't matter.
That shit ain't gonna affect you.
I know.
The internet doesn't even remember bad stuff. They only remember good videos. You could do a video that gets ignored. Unless it's like a Rebecca Black type situation. But you could do like a quick TikTok or a quick sketch. Like I've done sketches that I post that really don't do well. And then I post a good one a week later. No one's That's like, true. Bro, that last week's sketch was bad.
Do you take off the old one or you leave it?
I leave it.
You should.
I leave it forever. It's a resume. You know what I mean?
Like, I gotta get rid of that.
Yeah, you gotta keep it up.
I feel bad because I like with stand-up stuff. Mm-hmm. When you do a stand-up bit for the first time, it's hot off the presses, new bit. Yeah. Let's say the first time you do it, it doesn't work. You're just like, or maybe it gets a titter here or there. It's just like, there's definitely like the difference between being like, okay, I can tell right away this just isn't going to work no matter what. Yeah. But how are you when you see something that like half works? Are you good at editing and being like, this kind of worked, but I could tell this and this I gotta go and this. Because I get so weird about like, oh really? If it bombs the first time, it's really hard for me to ever do it again.
Oh, I keep doing it.
See,
I keep doing it,
and then I have the same reverse disease of, let's say I do something for the first time and it kills, and then I do it 10 more times, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did I do the first time that worked so well?
Yeah.
I'll bang my head against the wall and be like, I'm gonna keep doing exactly the way I did it, that I like to do it. Because there's certain things that I leave in where I'm like, I call them 10% jokes, where I'm like, this joke is purely for me.
Right.
Most people aren't gonna like it, but I can tell in the crowd when they laugh at that joke that I'm like, all right, these are my people.
Yep.
These are my people.
Yep. Yeah, you can tell who really fucks with you. Yeah, when I'm doing something new that isn't really working, I'll like push it and I'll keep going to the point where it's like really uncomfortable. Yes. And then sometimes
discomfort is good.
I'll listen to those lines because I recorded the sets, and I'll listen to the lines that didn't work.
Right.
And I'll try to rearrange them or restructure them or deliver them differently the next time. Maybe I'll get a laugh or a titter. And then sometimes I'll like fight with people. I'll be like, what didn't you like about that? I'll break the fourth wall. Write this joke with me, sir.
Workshop this with me,
funny?
bitch.
Yeah, I have bad credit. Give me something funny to say about having bad credit.
Write my jokes, please.
But I'll push. Maybe I'll try it as a character. And then eventually, if it just straight up isn't working, I'll scrap it forever.
How many times will you do it before you're like, I give up?
Maybe up to 10.
Okay.
Usually up to 10. It depends on like, I have this bit right now that's not really working too well about like the opening line of it is really good. I say, how's the government going to give me a credit score when they're trillions of dollars in debt?
There you go.
Right? And then from there, and that's like a laugh line.
Sure.
But then that's also the premise. So now you need your support examples, right? And you want to list out a couple more like one-liners. And so I talk about how they're trillions in debt and they owe money for this, but I can't apply for an apartment. And I'm slowly digging myself into this hole of nothing was as funny as that first line.
So
now
it's hard to not leave yourself someone to escalate to.
Exactly. So now I'm like, okay, does that line need to go at the end of something? What can I lead into that line with so that it can go like at an upward angle instead of a fucking downward trajectory? So like that, I'm going to keep working on. And at the end of the day, maybe that's just a fucking tweet that I'm going to send out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or maybe it's a line that I say for a bro video when they're explaining taxes.
Yeah.
So
or you can even go like, you can start that out as like the beginning of a premise and then kind of take a left turn, rather than keeping it the exact same analogous thing of like, you're going to tell me I can't rent an apartment and you're fucking spending. It's like, you can, I mean, I'm not trying to tell you how to write your own stand-up.
This is a writing room now.
But you know what I mean? Like you could go the direction of like, how many wars have we bought?
Right.
How many wars are we still buying?
Right.
How, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, and then you finding the thing in your life where it's like, I bought one war. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not going to forgive me for that. You know, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever. That's a bad example. But
no,
you know what I mean?
I like it. Yeah.
Rather than like, how much is the government, specific examples of the government fucking up, just trying to be like, here's something that I did. Like, is it as bad as that? It's like, I feel like y'all have been fucking up.
Y'all been spending a lot on bullets.
We bought a lot of bullets, and I feel like we have not gotten a lot of the ROI. The ROI has not been great.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to try that.
We're so much safer now.
Yeah. What happened to good old fashioned spending your money on war?
America is dope at spending money on war.
we really enjoy it. War makes a lot of money.
War is like
the
our
war
number one export.
Crazy. Have you seen War Dogs?
I have not seen War Dogs. I heard it's a good flick.
So good. Good.
Is that a Miles Teller?
Miles Teller, Jonah Hill, and I think it's directed by Todd
Whiplash.
Todd Phillips. Yeah, the guy who directed The Hangover and Joker.
Okay.
Yeah, really good director. Or he produced it, I forget, but he's involved somehow. Highly recommend.
How long is it going to be until you do exclusively Joker content? The countdown until it's just like,
dude, I'm close, man.
Like start out as like it's a bit where you're making fun of it, and then eventually it crosses over into a point where you're just living as Joker.
Joker material now.
Brent's now doing his podcast as Joker, where it's like I thought that was like him as just being himself, but now he's living as Joker. He's doing the makeup and stuff. He has a MySpace.
He's really committed to this bit.
He's a noise rock band.
Dude, it's 2:30.
We've done it.
How do you feel?
I feel good. We've uncovered every stone.
Thanks for cruising, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people stalk you and find you and follow you on your very funny TikToks.
Honestly, don't ever come in. Don't search my name and don't follow me. I know I'm supposed to get my numbers up, but I'm kind of like, I feel like I have enough.
Let's get those numbers up.
I feel like I have enough people. So if you're hearing this for the first time and you are unfamiliar with me, let's stay strangers. I don't want it. My name.
Yeah,
Luke Null. It's
N-U-L-L,
monosyllabic,
baby.
you know.
Yeah.
N-U-L-L. Yeah, I'm on there. Got them checks. I did not.
You do have the checks. You got the blue checks right when
Which
you got
makes
the
it
show.
sadder that I have no followers. And I'm like, okay. I did not do the work of getting them. I did not like email anyone.
Did you wake up one day and you had the check and you were like, holy shit?
Whoever works at SNL got me the checks. Wow. And I was like, oh, neat.
Yeah.
You can DM more people.
That's the only reason I'm like kind of interested in it.
Yeah.
Is because I can DM somebody and they'll see it.
Yeah. That's pretty much.
I think, right? Does it just go to the top of your inbox?
I think it's more just like when you get it like your notification. If it's somebody with another blue check, it'll give you like a
instead
push.
of just going to your private.
Yeah. And I'll be like, oh, okay.
Requests folder.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
What's up?
Have you ever gotten a random DM from a blue check person? And you were like, oh shit.
Yeah, a lot of the times I'm sure if like because I'm not a huge DM slipping into her type guy, but the times when I do think that they must be like, oh, another person, because you gotta like click and see like, what is this person?
Yeah,
do? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, okay, because there's certain people like that I'm like, okay, this guy's a blue check guy. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is. What's that?
The blue check, dude. People just want the blue check these days.
I think it's it doesn't really fucking matter at all.
No,
but
it does not.
Yeah, like I said, it's more sad that I have it, and then okay.
Nah, dude, you deserve it.
Outright bad.
You deserve it, bro.
Yeah,
you deserve it.
I've really
Luke Null, everybody, follow him, love him forever.
Yeah.
Thanks for cruising, bro.
Yeah, we'll all die someday.
Until then, we'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Stick the landing.
Stick the landing, dude. Nice, dude.
Dude, thank you.
You have fun?
Absolutely.
And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the episode with my good buddy Luke Null. Follow Luke at Luke Null. Get his album. It's out now. See him live on tour. And follow his TikTok when he starts posting TikToks, because I'm sure he will. Pick up some Magnesium Breakthrough. MagnesiumBreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. 10% off. Discount code Brent10. BlueBlocks.com/Brent. Discount code Brent. 15% off. And Spillin' Beans. Fun new party game from my friends. They're my friends. So support their game. You know, it's on Kickstarter. And buy all the things that I'm promoting, because it helps me. I don't get a percentage of it because those deals are garbage. But they do see whether or not my audience enjoys the products. And I hope you do, because I enjoy them, and I wouldn't be promoting them if I didn't. So, guys, I hope this conversation filled you with joy. I hope you learned a lot about comedy. I hope you learned a lot about my buddy Luke Null. And I hope you follow him forever, because he is a funny man that is deserving of your love. And you, too, are deserving of love. And don't let anyone tell you different. Okay? All right. Guys, have a good week. I'll see you next time. Bye.